Halloween night 2020. Shortly after 2 a.m., Ashaki Banks, a resident of the village of Bellwood, Illinois, is awakened by a loud noise.
I'm hearing pow, pow, pow. I'm hearing gunshots. So I clams up in my bed and look out my side window. So I ain't see nothing. I was like, no, this ain't right, because the gunshots was just so loud and so close. I get downstairs, I'm looking from side to side like, okay, it's awful quiet. I mean, it just was just so weird this night, how it was. You know, it's Halloween, it's kind of foggy. And I'm hearing a voice like, help, help, help.
Stepping outside, Ashaki sees a woman lying in the street, bleeding. She also sees a figure walking away from her toward a parked van.
The person that was, I guess, just had shot her was walking off. They walking off getting in the van. And the van took off going slow, so now I'm running across the street to her. And she's laying there, I'm like, don't move, don't move. You can see the trail of the blood, you know, a little bit farther down the street where she rolled and made her way back to the middle of the intersection. And she wanted somebody to see her. Seeing her, I knew that was Nicole.
Nicole C. Jones was born on August 12, 1996, and grew up in Bellwood, a suburb west of Chicago.
I was raised by my mother. It was only me and her, single child. Even though my father was absent in my life, I still had very strong male role models. My grandfather was one, my uncle. My mom's sister, my aunt, she died when my cousins was fairly young. So I grew up, my mom helped raise them with their father. So we grew up like fairly close to each other. So they were like my sisters.
Nicole and I and my sister, our upbringing, we were pretty much like the three amigos. We would look out for each other anywhere we would go, have each other's back, make sure we knew where each other were. We would always be together, doing things as a three, traveling, going to church.
I always remember going to church. My mom, my granddaddy, my grandma, we would all go to church every Sunday. I had Bible class on Monday, choir practice on Thursday, praise dance practice on Saturday. So I was very active in church. It was instilled in me at a very young age. So I always just knew who God was, and I knew how to communicate with him.
Growing up, Nicole gained self-confidence through worship and music.
I joined a praise dance team. I was on the team for all 4 years. I was also in my high school choir. I don't have a soloist voice, but I can sing. I could be background.
Friends knew her as a stylish and self-assured young woman.
I've been Nicole 10 plus years. We've been friends since 4th grade. Actually, when we met, we was only 2 girls in the classroom. So it was like we just had to be friends. Nicole and her mom used to always pick me up to go shopping with them. Nicole, she was always the best dressed. She was always looking nice, hair and makeup, always on point. She was the girl, that girl. Like, nobody couldn't tell her nothing.
In one area of her life, however, Nicole didn't have as much confidence.
I was very shy and insecure about dating as a younger girl.
I think that her mom was very cautious about things, as she should as a mother, being a mother of a daughter in Chicago. I think that it was important for her to be a little stricter. So Nicole had a lot of guy friends in school, but because of how strict her mother was, she wasn't able to have like guy friends at home or to like hang out with them.
I was always so covered up in high school, and then when I got older, I just got comfortable in my own skin. So, and I think that kind of reflected outward. So guys came attracted to that. 19, I really just started coming into myself, really feeling my body, knowing that I was beautiful and sexy.
In early 2019, 22-year-old Nicole was working at a call center for a major pharmacy chain. Around that time, she met her first serious boyfriend, Dejan Kelly.
I met Dejan on Facebook. He came into my DM and gave me a wave, and I waved back. I don't give out my number right away, so we just kept it on Facebook for a little while. And then he came back into my DM again, just on a random night, and we talked on the phone for like 2 hours that night.
A few days later, Nicole and Dejan decided to meet in person.
We went to a little restaurant and had like coffee and stuff. What intrigued me with Dejan, he had a story. He had been through some things, and he was like overcoming it, and he seemed very determined, and I love the fact that I can talk to him and he actually listened, gave me back feedback. That really attracted me to him.
By May of 2019, the couple was seeing each other almost every day.
She was excited. She used to tell me all the things they used to do with each other.
Dejan was very affectionate, and at first it was something I wasn't used to. I never had a boyfriend to cuddle or anything like that, so when he began to do that, I was kind of standoffish at first, but as time progressed, I started to fall in love, and that was one of the things I did see that I liked. I like affection, so he kind of taught me that in a way.
I feel that Nicole was more happy. She seemed more confident, sharing that, love and joy with someone on that intimate level. I thought it was great for her and for her confidence.
At the time, Dejan was working as a forklift operator at a warehouse, but he had big dreams of becoming a rapper.
We talked about just our future. He just was very ambitious. He was always in school for something, so that kind of drove me, I want to go to school, just was a good example in that way. We had even said if neither one of us has a child by 25, we'll have a baby together. I thought Dejan would have been a great father.
In 2020, Nicole was working as a certified nurse's assistant when she learned she was pregnant.
When we found out I was pregnant, we were both taken back. We didn't expect it, of course. But we talked about it and we agreed to keep it.
Unfortunately, the couple lost the baby, which strained their relationship.
We had a miscarriage, and we were arguing a lot.
Then, on Halloween night, all of Nicole's hopes for the future were thrown into chaos. In the early morning hours of November 1st, a neighbor has found Nicole on the street in front of her apartment, bleeding from gunshot wounds.
She was crawling, trying not to die, just, begging, for somebody, anybody just to help her.
At that time, I thought, I'm dying. I'm just dying slowly because I just got so cold. I just asked for my mom, and I said, I don't want to die like this.
She was just call my mom, hysterical. I'm just rubbing her hands, calming her down, just letting her know, you're going to be okay. I lost my mother to gun violence. She was shot and killed in 1994. 2012, I lost my 7-year-old daughter to gun violence. Basically the same way. I was not going to let that girl die.
I heard more voices. So I'm assuming more people came out the house by this time.
Within minutes, Bellwood police and paramedics arrive on the scene and transport Nicole to Loyola Medical Center.
Yeah, they put on the gurney, put in the ambulance, and just took off, and I'm standing there with the police by that time. Just asking me who did it and what happened. I said, I can't tell you who did it and what happened.
In the early morning hours of November 1st, 2020, police in Bellwood, Illinois, are investigating the shooting of 24-year-old Nicole Jones. Her neighbor, Ashaki Banks, tells authorities she saw the shooter flee the scene in a van. She says she didn't recognize the shooter's face, but Nicole did.
And she's laying there. I said, did your boyfriend do this here? And she was like, no, not my boyfriend, girlfriend.
Unfortunately, Ashaki does not know the name of Nicole's boyfriend. Detectives process the crime scene, searching for any clues that might help them to identify the shooter.
Once we got to the scene, the first thing that would happen is the police will start canvassing, looking for shell casings, looking for physical evidence. We found 10 shell casings at the scene.
Police recover surveillance footage from a neighbor's residence that shows a suspect exit the van, walk toward Nicole, and fire multiple shots. The shooter appears to be a woman, but the face is unclear. Without any additional information about the suspect, detectives try to learn more about the victim. They search law enforcement databases for any details about Nicole Jones. They learn that on July 16, 2019, Nicole Jones called 911 to report she was being harassed by her boyfriend, Dejon Kelly. She told police she and Dejon had broken up earlier that day, and he had been calling her ever since, threatening to kill her. No charges were filed, but the fights continued.
A few times I did observe, me getting up, looking out the window. They had altercations, in front of the building. But it wasn't like a long period of time where police was called or ambulance or nothing, but there was just a big argument and they are just going about their ways.
Nearly 1 year later, on May 17, 2020, someone else called 911 to report that Nicole was fighting with a woman named Uniqua Bryson over Dejon Kelly. Investigators suspect Uniqua Bryson is the woman Nicole Jones identified as her boyfriend's girlfriend, and that she came back to finish the job she started on July 5th. Now Nicole is being prepped for emergency surgery.
Yeah, I never lost consciousness up until surgery time. I remember going in and out sometime at the hospital, but for the most part, I never lost consciousness.
Nicole tells authorities that the person who shot her was Uniqua Bryson.
The fact that she was able to talk, to speak, to give certain details was miraculous. And for some, they may have felt like this was an open and shut case. We have the witnesses, we have the name, we don't necessarily need to look anywhere else.
For now, Nicole is unable to give authorities any additional information. As she is taken into surgery, her friends and family learn that she is in critical condition and fear she might not survive the night.
I was like the strong friend. Like, I didn't show no emotions. A couple hours later, that's when I couldn't hold it in anymore.
They said that her condition really wasn't known, and they were just trying to stabilize her. But I believe she had fallen into a coma. I didn't know whether she was gonna live or die.
After the late-night shooting of 24-year-old Nicole Jones, authorities near Bellwood, Illinois, put out an APB for her alleged attacker, 23-year-old Uniqua J. Bryson.
It wasn't a question of who done it. We have a name, we have a suspect, because you miraculously had a survivor who was alert enough to talk to the police and be able to give them a name.
Hours later, Bellwood police charged Uniqua with aggravated battery and the attempted murder of Nicole Jones. But they'll have to talk to Nicole to learn what happened and why. Unfortunately, Nicole's medical situation has taken a turn for the worse.
she had fallen into a coma. So we didn't know like much on the condition. And I think we didn't know for a couple days. For those few days, I was definitely nerve-wracked.
The first time I remember being woke up, I remember a nurse asking me, "Is your mom Candace Jones?" And she asked me to hold up my finger because I was intubated at the moment. I couldn't talk. So she told me just to squeeze her finger. If my mom's name was Candace Jones, and I squeezed her finger. And she told me, "We have our own video," because it was COVID at the time. No one could come up to see me. So I remember it got silent, and I just remember hearing her voice. And I said, I made it. I made it. I knew I was alive because I heard her voice.
When Nicole called me, she told me that they were unable to remove a bullet that was still fairly close to her spine. So the chances of her walking again was very slim. I was thinking that she's very young to be going through something like this, that this was gonna change her for the rest of her life and all of our lives, and that it was gonna be a while before things got back to being remotely normal again.
After I woke up, a detective came and visited me at the hospital.
The detective tells Nicole that Uniqua Bryson is in custody.
They had got help from different police stations in the area, and they captured her that night. He said she even called the police on herself, saying, screaming in the phone, saying that she had been robbed.
The detective asked Nicole if she can explain why Uniqua Bryson might have wanted to attack her. Nicole says her problems with Uniqua began in the fall of 2019, when her boyfriend, Dejan Kelly, met Uniqua at work.
One day, we're in the car, and he does music. He showed me a video of a young woman dancing, with shorts on, to his song. And he's not famous, so I'm like, who is this, And that's when he said, oh, this is somebody from my job. I was very, confused with that because I'm a woman that worked with other men. I would never put on shorts and twerk to any of my coworkers' music or anything. I wouldn't even send that to no one, So I'm like, does she know you're in a relationship? This is very, inappropriate, He oh, I do music. People gonna dance to my music. That's nothing major. Eventually, I see the name Uniqua pop up on his phone one night, and I asked, who is Uniqua? And he said, oh, we work together. She's just a friend from work. It started feeling very off to me when we're asleep at 1 and 2 a.m. and his phone is going off, and it was her. DJ will always just say, oh, she must want to buy something off of me or, something like that. He assured me that nothing like that was going on.
As a woman, we tend to know when something's not right. Our guts rarely lie to us. Nicole had the signs. Nicole had the warnings. But what do we all do at some point or another? We fall. We ignore it.
In January 2020, 1 week after Dejan's birthday, Nicole says she found proof that he was having an affair with Uniqua.
When he had went out for a little second, I went through his things, and I found a birthday card that she had gave him. And she said, I know your birthday's gonna be so special this year because you're with me now. So when he got back to the house, I just went off. Why is she saying she's with you now? He oh, I don't know why she's saying that. I immediately, kick him out. So he leaves out the house.
Nicole confronts him again outside, and Dejan admits he has been intimate with Uniqua.
I let him come back into the house. I'm like, well, you just sleep on the couch, and I'll take you to your car tomorrow. When we get into the apartment, he's just looking at his phone, and he starts to look out the window. And I say, did you really call this girl over to my house to come pick you up? He she the only person I know that's up right now at this time.
To avoid a confrontation, Dejan texts Uniqua and tells her not to come. But the message backfires, making the situation even worse.
He telling her not to come, and she's persistent on coming. He even told her, if you come, my girl gonna wanna fight you. And she still was like, I'm coming.
In Bellwood, Illinois, 24-year-old shooting victim Nicole Jones tells police about her first encounter with Uniqua Bryson, the woman who allegedly shot her. In January 2020, 9 months before the shooting, she says Uniqua showed up at her apartment looking for Dejon Kelly.
We're getting ready to go to bed, and I keep hearing this horn just going off. Someone's just, like, resting on their horn. I look out the window, and I see a red car, and I asked him, like, what kind of car does she have? And he told me, I'm like, this is her outside. He refused to go outside. So I put on my things. I said, I'll go outside and just tell her to leave. I went up to the car calmly. I said, do you mind leaving? Oh, I know everything about y'all. He tells me everything. I said, well, you know everything about me and my relationship. Why are you dealing with a guy that's in a relationship? That's when he comes out. She's telling him, get in the car. Let's go, get in the car.
I would say that this is a case of two women who were desperately missing out on love. As a result, you have a situation where we are going to jeopardize ourselves. We're going to dishonor ourselves in order to fight for this man.
And I'm pointing my finger, and this is when she like swings on me, and we started to fight right there.
The sight of a police patrol car ended the fight before it escalated.
The police is circling the block in my neighborhood, so we saw a policeman, and me and him ran back into the apartment. When we went back outside, she was circling the block again, and she rolled down her window, and she said, I will kill you, bitch. I'm going to kill you. I didn't really take that serious.
In the following months, Nicole and Dejon's relationship became increasingly volatile.
They'd be out there arguing back and forth, and I'm like, oh, okay, another day. Because they did it so much, so whereas you don't get up and look no more because you basically know, it's the people downstairs, just let it be.
Nicole's rivalry with Uniqua also intensified.
It kind of sounds like Uniqua said, you know what? This is my time to shine. I am sick and tired of coming in number 2, and this time I will absolutely not.
The conflict reached a new breaking point on July 5th.
Me and DJ, we were out like all night. We got back like around, I would say 5 a.m. We settling down, we got into the bed. Around, I want to say maybe 8 o'clock that morning, she's knocking at the window, screaming his name. Then we hear the apartment door swing open. And all I heard was my mom saying, is she in my house?
At the time she broke into Nicole Jones' home, her mother was there. This woman did not care. She did not have any boundaries.
I just started swinging. It just was bad. The cops came. She got arrested that day.
Nicole decided enough was enough.
I'm just like, that was just insane to me, and I just like, this is just going a little bit too far. I just said, if I stay away from him, she'll stay away from me.
Nicole broke up with Dejon, but she didn't anticipate what would happen next.
After the fight in July and me and him breaking up, I guess him and Uniqua had really started seeing each other, because my friends would even spot them out at places at times. But just the fact that he was with her, I didn't like that. I just didn't like the fact that she thought, oh, I'm just gonna come in and just take your man. The relationship is pretty much over at this point, but we're just still sleeping together. I think at the moment, it just became like a sick competition. Just going, I think I was addicted to the drama.
Dejon was messing with both of them, and both women were fully aware of what was happening, so it wasn't really a case of deception. So that lets you know that it wasn't really about Dejon. is about two women who had two competing interests of self-worth, and what it felt like for each of them and what it would mean for each of them to lose this man.
It feels like I'm gonna win by any means necessary. I'm gonna maintain the power and control of this situation, and I'm gonna get you.
Everyone knew that this was not gonna end well. As a matter of fact, Nicole had family members that said those same exact words. I think no one foresaw that it would end the way that it did, but everyone knew that it wasn't going to end well.
In 2020, days after an attack that nearly killed her, Nicole Jones tells police how her rivalry with Uniqua Bryson escalated for months, leading to an eruption of violence on Halloween night.
Me and my friends were supposed to go to a Halloween party. As I'm getting ready, DJ calls me. We on FaceTime. He's seeing my Halloween costume, and he was like, "What you doing tonight?" And I told him about the party. And he was like, "Okay, I want to spend Halloween with you. I want to come to the party." Once I get to the party, I sent him the address. I'm at the party maybe a good 30, 40 minutes, and he didn't hit me back. I'm like, "Are you on your way?" And he said, "Yeah." Then another like 20-some minutes go by, and I'm like, "What you doing?" And he, no reply.
Suspecting that Dejan is with Uniqua Bryson, Nicole checks the other woman's social media page.
I went on it to watch Uniqua's story, and sure and behold, she's taking a video at a house party, and he's behind her doing something, talking to somebody. And I sent him like a screenshot of it, and I sent it to his phone, and I said, "Well, I see where you at. It's cool, stay where you at." When I got home, it was midnight. As I'm sitting on the couch, my phone rings, and I don't recognize the number, but it's a Chicago number, so I answer, and it was her. And she gets on the phone, and she like, "Why you sending pictures of me to my man?" And I said, I'm like, "Oh, he your man now?" She like, "Yeah, he right here in my bed. You want to see him?" And then she FaceTime. I can see he's in the bed, asleep. She's hitting on him, trying to wake him up. And she was really ranting that night. She kept talking. And then she said something real disrespectful. So they start to like argue and stuff like that. So I hang up the phone. I start getting ready to go to bed. I hear Dejan's loud motor to his van. So I immediately assume, oh, she must have kicked him out. Now you coming over here, because that was the initial plan. He wanted to be with me. When I looked out the window and I seen it was his van, I just ran outside. As I walk outside, I'm walking up, I'm immediately seeing the shape, and I'm knowing it's not him. It's her. And she was walking walking back towards the van, and I was walking up on her, so she had her back towards me. So as I walk up, I said, "What are you doing here?" She turned around and she said, "Why would you come outside?" And she went into her pocket, she pulled the gun out, and she said, "You think it's a game?" I saw that gun, my heart dropped. My heart dropped. I immediately got that reaction, it's a gun. It's nobody else out here but me and her. I'm gonna die tonight.
After months of verbal and physical fighting with Uniqua Bryson, Nicole realizes their feud has reached a point of no return.
I just remember the big popping noise. It made my ears ring immediately. And then once I felt that first bullet, it was so hot. It just felt like I was in a room of fire. And that immediately, my body just collapsed. And I fell dead on my stomach on the street. And then that's when I feel her presence come over my body. And she's right over me, and she's still shooting me. I'm calling for God, I'm calling for my mama, I'm just screaming. And at this moment, I just hear her say, "Die, die, die." I thought to myself, okay, you gotta play dead, because if you don't, she gonna she not gonna leave until she think you dead. So I just put my head down in the street and I got quiet. And that's when like it stopped.
To hear someone say, die, 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 as you feel bullets piercing your body, that's a whole nother level of hatred. That's a whole nother level of trauma. And to realize that you had to play dead or else they would not have stopped shooting you, that speaks volumes.
I hear her walking away, and as like she's walking away, I lift my eye up just a little bit, and I saw like her footsteps walk back to the van. And once I heard that van door close, and I heard a motor drive off, that's when I started back screaming again.
Nicole suffered 17 separate bullet wounds, counting exit wounds as well as entry wounds, to her legs, stomach, and back. Miraculously, she lived to tell her story.
Some of the bullets are still in her at this point to the present day, and you have them recounting a very traumatic experience. And oftentimes, you know, trauma affects people differently. It affects how we remember things. It affects whether we want to remember things. It affects how we go on to live our life and to tell our story.
At first, I was so angry. I was so mad. I seen her face everywhere. I dreamed of it, you know. I wanted revenge on her. Like, I was just so mad that she did that to me. I couldn't understand why she did that to me. But I had to let go of the hate because it was just consuming me. It made people not even want to be around me because I just was just so angry. God really helped me through that dark place.
I just marveled at the fact that she was so composed, considering everything she had been through. It was almost unbelievable. I think the thing that stood out to me the most, I expected her to be more angry than what she was. When I asked her, did you forgive her? She said, I'm working on it.
Almost 2 years after the near-fatal shooting, Nicole Jones prepares to confront Uniqua Bryson one more time in a courtroom.
Uniqua's court appearance was a big play on who was still going to get the upper hand, the last showdown between the two.
On December 5th, 2022, Uniqua Bryson goes on trial for aggravated battery and the attempted murder of Nicole Jones.
The defense's strategy was to try to cast doubt. So you have the victim who's telling you, this is the person who did this to me, and the defense decides to try to raise doubt on gunshot residue and which hand it was found on and whether the shooter was left hand or right hand, or was trying to use the surveillance to say, okay, the gun was in a different hand, and so this person couldn't have done this. But there was just too many factors stacked up against Uniqua in this instance, mainly Nicole. When you are shot at 17 times and you live to tell the tale, you're going to remember who did it.
Nicole testifies against her attacker, but Uniqua remains silent.
Uniqua was just staring me down. And you could just see the hate in her eyes for me.
There was no emotion, there was no remorse. It was like she was annoyed that she was even sitting there, and even more annoyed that Nicole was still alive.
As the trial comes to a close, the judge finds Uniqua Bryson guilty. 2 months later, she is sentenced to 31 years in prison.
At the sentencing hearing, I wrote a statement, and the state attorney read it. I said, I forgive you, and I hope that you get the help that you need while you're serving your time.
No one wins in this case. You have two women whose lives are forever changed. One woman is spending a majority of her life behind bars. You have another woman who is living partially paralyzed and have to live with what happened to her for the rest of her life. Nobody's won. Nobody wins. I'm very surprised that no one wanted to talk to Dejan or didn't make it mandatory.
He had said to me that night he had, they had a fight. She ran downstairs and he remembered her screaming and just, crying real loud. And he didn't go down to check on her or anything. He just rolled over and went to sleep. And he said the next morning, he saw his keys was gone. And then he got a call from the police station from Uniqua saying that they were accusing her of shooting me.
I think for Dejan to experience redemption, he has to first acknowledge his role within the situation. You have a lot of people who are dead on the inside and could care less about that acknowledgement or that redemption. So it really depends on where he is in his walk of life.
Until then, Nicole Jones is moving forward, not looking back.
My best hopes for my friend is continue to be brave, continue to be great. She's smart, she's beautiful.
In situations like these, resilience is often built. And resilience is that thing that keeps us going despite of. We don't know where the strength is coming from. We're just making that decision every single day to say, I am bigger than my circumstance. I am bigger than what happened to me. Living my life is of the utmost importance. And no matter what, I'm going to persevere. I'm going to push. And I am going to have the greatest life I can possibly have.
I think she's very strong. One of the strongest people I know. The year later, she was able to walk and has made so much progress. And she really did beat the odds because what the doctors was telling her, she pulled a complete 180.
Some good will come out of this. I don't know what that is, and it's up to her to find out what that is. But I believe that she has a mission here on life, clearly. There's a reason Nicole survived, and we're all gonna be here rooting for her and looking for her to reveal that to us.
I definitely want to, work as a gun violence advocate. I definitely want to do a foundation for women. We're worth more than a lying, cheating bum. We give ourselves out so deeply to these men, and what do we have in return? I just lost myself in that whole situation. I didn't even recognize myself. I'm just now learning Nicole, and I'm rarely tapping into my self-love journey at this moment, my spiritual journey. I'm really,